You ever live so quietly, so mindfully, that even your plants would vouch for you and still end up at war with your landlord? Because that was me. I wasn't noisy, I didn't throw parties, I paid rent early just so they'd never have a reason to bother me, and still, one Thursday morning, I got an eviction notice shoved under my door like a pizza flyer. 30 days to move out. No explanation, no heads up, just a formal typed letter that said I'd violated the lease and had to vacate. My heart sank. I'd lived in that apartment for 4 years. 4 clean, uneventful, rent paid on time years. I kept a couple succulents on the windowsill, listened to jazz at a volume you could barely hear from the hallway, and the wildest thing I ever did was fry salmon on a Sunday. So yeah, I was pissed. But I didn't scream. I didn't run downstairs and start yelling at the landlord, "Dog." I just stood there in my kitchen, holding the letter, watching my kettle boil, realizing that something else had to be going on. And that something else had a name. Her name was Vanessa. Dog had always been a little aloof, mid-50s, wore the same puffer vest year-round, smelled like Windex, but he was never a problem. Then, a few months ago, Vanessa showed up. Girlfriend, maybe fiancé, who knows, but the moment she moved in, it was like the building turned into her personal kingdom. She was one of those people who smiled at you with their teeth but not their eyes. Started enforcing unposted rules, glaring at folks who left their shoes in the hallway, knocking on your door to let you know your porch light was too bright for the vibe. You know the type. At first, I ignored her. But then the petty stuff started. Passive-aggressive notes taped to my door, reminders about noise levels, subtle comments like, "You get a lot of guests for someone who lives alone." I shrugged it off, chalked it up to someone trying to play queen of the castle. But this eviction, that wasn't just petty. That was calculated. So I did what any normal, overworked person with a limited budget and a strong sense of fairness would do. I panicked for about an hour, then I started digging. The official reason for the eviction: unauthorized subletting. I laughed when I read it. The only person who'd stayed at my place was my younger brother, Lucas, who'd crashed on the couch for 3 nights during finals week while he prepped for his EMT certification. That's it. No sublease, no stranger, just my broke little brother, who washed his dishes and left a thank you note. But I knew what this was really about. Vanessa wanted the unit. She'd mentioned once in passing that her cousin was looking for a space in the area. I didn't think much of it then, but it all clicked now. They were trying to clear me out, not because I broke the lease, but because they wanted to hand my place to someone they liked better. Now, here's the thing: I wasn't about to go down quietly. I wasn't confrontational by nature, but I'm not stupid either. I printed out my lease. Highlighted the clause that clearly allowed guests for up to 2 weeks. Took photos of the apartment to show how well I kept it. And I pulled up the text messages from Doug Bland, unemotional stuff like "rent received, thanks," and, crucially, one where I had told him Lucas was staying a few days and he'd simply replied, "Okay." Then I called Jenna. Jenna's my best friend and also happens to work in tenant advocacy. She knows housing law the way most people know pop culture trivia. I sent her everything: the letter, the lease, the screenshots, even a few audio clips I'd recorded when Vanessa came up to my door accusing me of hosting the strangers at night. Spoiler, it was Lucas coming back from 12-hour shifts at the hospital. Jenna read it all, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, they messed with the wrong person." She helped me file a formal complaint with the city's housing board, citing retaliatory eviction, tenant harassment, and just for fun discrimination. I signed the papers, sent in the documentation, and requested an emergency hearing to stay the eviction. 2 days later, I got a notice: investigation opened, eviction frozen. That's when Doug started sweating. Suddenly, he was all polite emails and confused expressions. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. We can talk about this. Vanessa, meanwhile, went full Stepford wife fake. She left cookies by my door sugar-free, of course, because apparently even her baked goods are joyless, and started making small talk in the stairwell. But it was too late. During the investigation, other tenants came forward. Turns out, I wasn't the only one she targeted. A couple downstairs had been accused of smoking when they didn't even own lighters. A guy on the third floor said his girlfriend stopped visiting because Vanessa kept asking if she was a sex worker. I mean, it was a pattern. The board took notice. 1 week later, I got the verdict: eviction cancelled. No violations found. In fact, Doug was fined for improper eviction procedure and harassment. Vanessa's cousin didn't get my unit. And, best of all, Vanessa stopped showing up completely. But the story didn't end there. About a month later, I noticed something taped to the lobby wall, a printed notice, effective immediately, building under new management. I didn't need to ask what happened. Word travels fast. Rumor was Doug had sold the property under pressure from legal costs and bad press. Vanessa vanished. I didn't throw a party or post about it online. I just opened my windows wide, played some Nina Simone on low volume, and watered my succulents with extra love. The best revenge, after all, is staying exactly where they didn't want you. And yeah, maybe I ordered a custom mug that says, "Still not subletting." Just a little reminder every morning. You know what's wild? If they just left me alone, if they hadn't tried to twist the rules to suit themselves, I would have gone on living my boring little life without ever raising a fuss. But they poked the wrong bear. And I know what some people will say, that I went too far, that I made a mountain out of a molehill. But here's what I know: the moment you let someone cross a line without consequence, they redraw the map. And if the system exists to protect the ones doing the right thing, then damn it, I'm gonna use that system like a shield. So yeah, I'm still in that same apartment. Still sipping my tea on the balcony every Saturday morning. The building's quieter now. The air feels a little lighter. The blinds don't snap shut when people walk by. And every once in a while, someone will knock softly and say, "Hey, you were the one who stood up to them, right?" I just smile and nod. Because you never know who's watching, and maybe, just maybe, the next time someone tries to flex their power where it doesn't belong, they remember the girl upstairs with the succulents who didn't move. So what do you think? Did she overreact, or was she right to fight back? Have you ever had a landlord try something shady? Let's hear your story. Drop a comment below. Let's talk justice.